حمدا لرب ذي الأنام على هذا الوقوف الختام 30 عاما كونغرسي في بلدي إجاب الكرام جمع الضيوف الأعزة سلام الله عليكم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. In continuation of our discussion on the issue of Palestine and the evil of Zionism, I need to make clear that the creation of the state of Israel on the land of Palestine was not something that happened by chance. No, it didn't happen by chance. Creation of Israel, must be very clear to us, was not something done just solely to satisfy the yearning of the Jews for a national homeland. It was beyond that. The creation of Israel is traced back to the conflict between Islam and the West. From inception, as I've noted earlier, when the Byzantine Empire attempted to nib in the bud the Islamic civilization, which was just emerging from the desert then. One battle led to the other, and the Muslims were able to overcome. Now, when Islam spread all over, having built a very large empire over what you call Egypt today, Misra then, the whole of North Africa, up to Spain, called Andalusia, Greece in Europe, Bengal in India, all these lands were under the control of Islam. Quite a very, very big land. This is not talking of the Arabian deserts, the Hijaz, the whole of the peninsula under the control of Islam. And the power of Islam demonstrated practically. You can see that whoever was the Khalif or the Sultan was in total control of the Muslim lands. Invariably, for the West, a kind of Islamophobia developed, that this religion must be caged. It must be caged to ensure that it does not take over everything. That's number one. Number two, to ensure that even where it is settled, we will not allow it to have peace. Not allowing Islam and the Muslims to have peace is to create a destabilizing factor. As we have pointed out, this is not peculiar to the creation of Israel for the Jews. In so many other Muslim countries, just travel there, you will see, they have these pockets of non-Muslim communities that are extremely hostile to the Muslims. It's all over. So invariably, Israel was planted in the Middle East. How did it come to be? The land of Palestine was occupied by the Muslims, the Arabs, and the non-Arabs. They were all there, but colonialism came, and Britain took control of Palestine, in summary. When it was time to give independence, Britain, using what was called, and is still called, Balfour Declaration, Britain decided to partition the land of Palestine and gave a portion to Israel, leaving the remaining portion for the people of Palestine. You will see that in doing this, the intention of Britain was purely evil. Evil in the sense that even after the partitioning, there was deliberate effort to entrench Israel and to prevent Palestine from rising. The leader of the Muslims was banished from the land, while Israel was developing army, Irgun, Haganah, so many of them, they were developing this army in preparation to attack the Palestinians were prevented from forming a regular army by the British. So that invariably, by the time the British moved, Israel unleashed its military power on the Arabs, sacking villages after villages, ensuring that they were pushed out of their land. So the real objective of the British mandate in Palestine was to ensure, and that mandate was for about 30 years, 3 good decades, it was to ensure Jewish migration from Europe, Russia, and Arab states to offer them more Palestinian lands. This was the reality the Palestinians faced. And you will observe, why are the Jews migrating from Europe, from all over the world? Because in the other parts of the world, nobody wanted to have the Jews as partner. They move in your economy, they will destroy it. Your politics, they will destroy it. Everything, they will take over. They will introduce concepts that will make it impossible for the indigenous people to practice. Invariably, they will be in charge of the economy. And once they have the economy in their hand, they have the soul of the country in their hand. They can dictate anything. So, from all over the world, people just wanted, let's push them out. So the urge to transfer them to the land of Palestine, having been created, having been partitioned by Britain, was a relief for most of these world leaders then. I mean, the evil carried out by Hitler was so bad, so terrible, that today the whole world is still condemning it. For Hitler was acting according to the proportionate to what the Jews have brought to his country. And Hitler was reported to have said, people will blame him for the remaining Jews that he was unable to kill. So when the Jews migrated, they came to the land of Palestine, Britain partitioned the land, gave them, and from there, they started pushing the Muslims away. It became a case of somebody was invited to come and eat, and then he got to the table and held the hand of the owner of the food so that he can eat everything. That's the reality of what is happening in Palestine. That is what Zionism is doing. Again, we need to understand the concept of Zionism different from the Jews. Zionism is an ideology, very silent, but extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. Zionism controls all the superpowers of the world. Talk of America, talk of Britain, talk of France. Zionism is in control. And all they need is to threaten a political leader. This is what we want. If you don't do it, it will cost you a re-election. And that is it. You have to bow. You have to bow to their wish. And they have a very strong lobby in the US, which makes it near impossible for any US leader to disagree with them. There was a book written by a former congressman. He called it The Dare Speak Out. The congressman's name is Paul Findley. That book exposed a lot, showed so many American congressmen and women who wanted to speak on the floor of the US Congress would first go to IPAC, Israeli Public Affairs Council, to go and clear at the Congress today. I want to say this. Am I allowed? Go and read. What was the problem that Paul Findley had with them? Paul Findley, an American, had problem in Arab country. I think Yemen then. Paul Findlay traveled there as a congressman, and the guy who had problem was from his area. He traveled down there and was able to bring this boy back home. In the process, he met the Arabs. After rescuing the boy from his constituent, he met the Arabs. He saw that these people are not animals, as we have been told. They are not animals. They are human beings. They have feelings. So he returned back to the Congress to tell them that, look, the Arabs are human beings as well. We have to listen to them. We have to dialogue with them. That was his crime. Zionism decided that he was not going to return to the U.S. Congress. In that book, he revealed that what it costs to contest the Congress election in his area was almost equal to what it cost to contest the presidential election in the U.S. that year. It was so tough that Reagan was not even ready to associate with him, even though they were from the same political party, because Zionism had marked him down. He must not go back. That year, he escaped narrowly. But the following election, they mobilized en masse, and they ensured that he lost the election. That was what prompted him. He wanted to know what was the source of the power of the Zionists. And it's because they have created a very powerful lobby. Any country they enter, they create a very, very powerful lobby. They take control of everything. Once they take control, you are unable to do anything without their permission. You have two political parties, and all of them will be serving the Zionists. Whichever you vote for, you'll be serving the Zionists. This is the evil of Zionism, and that's why most leaders of countries do not want the Jews to settle within their territory. But they saw the Arabs very weak, and to achieve this, they were able to work on Muslim disunity, to be able to enter the land of Islam, partition it, give a portion to Israel, and stand by Israel. By the time the Jews had more than 70,000 soldiers carrying weapons, the Arabs were just about 20,000 Arabs, including original Arab soldiers, Palestinian resistance, and the Muslim Brotherhood Mujahideen. Muslims gathered from various countries, not more than 20,000. Meanwhile, the Jews already organized 70,000 Jews ready to fight for them. The supply of weapons was very easy. Czechoslovakia supplied the Jews settlers with weapons, and most of the funding came from the United States. Regularly till today, Israel is sustained with funds from the U.S., ammunition from the U.S., political support from the U.S. So this is what is giving the Zionism the power. What is giving Israel the power that now created the concept. People believe that Israel cannot be defeated. No, it was never true. The reality has always been the power lying behind Israel, supporting it. And this time it wanted to fall. America will be there to say no, because it's America that needed Israel to ensure that the Arabs cannot unite, they cannot work together, and at every time they want to defeat them, it becomes very, very easy for the West to undo the Arabs. When they are committed to Zionism, there is nothing that can be done to Israel. The United Nations have adopted Resolution 181, which partitions Palestine. Neither Israel or America will talk about Resolution 181. And talking about two-state solution, Israel does not want it. That's why today, Israel is planting Israeli settlers in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, so that invariably it becomes very easy to conquer the remaining portion where the Palestinians exist. It will be very easy to drive them out, push them into the desert, Let them find a country where they want to stay. This is the target. This is what they are planning. And the Israeli leaders have made it very clear that as far as they are concerned, Israel has no size. Israel will continue to expand and take more land. And what many of the Arab states do not know, go and read Christopher Mayo and Michael Adams, what they call Publish It Not, the Middle East Cover-Up. In that book, they were able to make it clearly that, one, Israel is not interested in two-state solution. Its leaders are very clear about it. And one of their leaders, General Sharon, said, does the leopard have a size? As long as it's getting big, the skin also continues to be big. Therefore, when the population of Israel increases, the land will continue to increase. After they have taken what is called Palestine, Jordan should be prepared. Saudi Arabia should be prepared. Because they have the concept of, Zionism has a concept called Eretz Israel. That's the Greater Israel. And if you look at the Greater Israel, it extends as far as Medina. They want to conquer everything. But the starting point is to totally eliminate the Palestinians. Once they succeed in doing that, the remaining will be very easy. It will be very easy for them. And that's why the Muslims of Palestine are resisting. That no, it will never happen. They will fight and continue to fight until they're able to gain their independence. Inshallah, we'll continue to look at the issue of Palestine in our next edition. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will spare our lives beyond then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
ما مثل كنغرس الألام من العلوم والفهوم وجودهم نور للورى إلى ديار النعيم لأن علمهم عملياتهم لشخصهم على المرام وكيف تنكر كونغرسي على انتشار السلام قد فقط كونغرسي ما دام على القوام علماء